We're live. We're live.
We're live.
Yay.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Facebook-
Everyone in Facebook land.
Yes, I've never done this before. This is my very first time, girl.
All right. Well, let's have some fun with it.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
We're so excited you're on here today. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from the North Shore of Chicago, Highland Park, Illinois, from my home. So if my doggy barks, I apologize. He's pretty quiet all the time, but hey,
It happens.
it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we love being here at noon Central on Thursday, every Thursday, where we have an opportunity to present one of our top tier financial professionals. And today we have Debbie Glickman. Now, Debbie, I know sometimes people call themselves a broker or realtor. What would your official title be?
Well, my official title would be a realtor because I'm licensed through the National Association of Realtors and the Illinois Association of Realtors. So I do have my license and I'm all official, but we go by agent, broker, whatever you guys want to call me. I sell real estate, residential real estate.
Got it. Yeah. Well, I know one time somebody corrected us. She said, I'm not a realtor because she wasn't associated. So that's why I wanted to ask the questions. There's some differences. And I know as somebody who's purchasing property or selling property, we just want to know that you're licensed to do so. So we don't care. We call you agent, realtor, broker, lots of different things.
Yes. And we need to have our license renewed every couple of years. We take continuing education and some, laws change. And so, it's one of those things that we take our license pretty seriously, and you should always work with somebody who is a licensed realtor.
Got it.
Yeah.
So Purse Strings, as many of you know out there, is we provide free tools, resources, information for women so they can make smart financial decisions for themselves and for their families. But moreover, we also gather together a list of vetted professionals, all things professionals. So like today we have Debbie, who's a realtor. We also have lenders, we have attorneys, we have financial professionals with expertise in lots of different areas. We want to make sure women know that they have a financial team at their fingertips. They can go to pursestrings.co anytime they're looking for a financial professional for any reason. I mean, over our lifetime, we make a lot of different financial decisions. Anywhere from providing education for our children to go to school, to buying and selling a house, to getting married, getting divorced. There's lots coming into a windfall, a big inheritance. There's lots of times we have to make financial decisions, and we want to make sure women have the tools, the resources, and the right professionals at their fingertips that they can work with. And those professionals will have your concerns, questions, your desires front and center in every conversation. So thank you, Debbie, for being here today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, and for sharing your expertise. I know it's a really hot market. I know you're super duper busy, which is really good. I know you just said your Friday is your Monday.
That's right.
Most people are kicking back for the weekend. You're just heating up, right?
Exactly. So our week is structured a little bit differently, but the reason that the things that I wanted to talk to, Facebook or whoever's watching today, because sometimes it can be really, really overwhelming in terms of thinking about selling your house. And it stops a lot of people because it can be overwhelming. And so I kind of put together a list of, 5 top things to do before, in order to get your house ready for sale. Yeah. And, that's what I'm going to talk about today. So
yeah. And I think that is so important, especially for those people who've lived in their house a long, long time, and they've really settled in lots of different ways. And they don't realize that the way that they live or the way that their house is not really what other people would desire. So I'm sure there's things that we could do for our houses so that it's very desirable to the masses, to anyone else who might step in, right? It's an emotional decision, an emotional sale. We think we love our house. Everyone would love the bright pink bubblegum walls and things like that. but not everybody.
What they say is, yes, but my house is special.
Is that what you hear a lot?
Just like me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm special. I'm unique. I'm different.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the masses, everybody wants to be able to envision themselves in that house. So
Correct.
we're so glad you're here today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Let me give a little intro to Debbie and then we'll get started. Two things I do want to note before is if you have any questions, please pop them in anytime throughout. And the wonderful thing about Debbie being a realtor is, yes, she serves Illinois, but she can always give you a referral to anyone, anywhere. So you can always call Debbie, even though she's not in your location, to help you refer or just ask more questions because Debbie loves to talk to you.
I do.
But to get into Debbie's profile, her ultimate goal is to find the perfect home within your budget or sell your home with unsurpassed marketing tools. She'll guide you through a seamless and smooth experience, and during the process, we're building trusting relationship that will last beyond the real estate transaction. To her, you're not just another pretty house. Aww. And additionally, Debbie is a certified negotiation expert, which will give her a leg up in helping you buy or sell your home. That's a great little addition to have there.
Yes.
So we're so excited to have you here, but I'll just give you the floor.
Terrific. Well, like I said, I feel that sometimes taking the step to get your house ready it's the very first thing you want to do is to just kind of evaluate what the things that you need to get done before you can sell your house. You don't just want to call somebody and say, hey, I want to put my house on the market, because most likely if you've lived there for a while, right, you have some things you need to do. So with that, I have a couple of slides that I'm going to talk to. The first thing I always recommend to people is to declutter and purge. And there are lots of people out there that can help you do that. But if you are a go-getter and you want to try to do it yourself, that's always a great thing to do. We get so involved in our own houses, and we can't even really see the clutter that kind of forms within our own living space. And so it's really good to go room by room and evaluate. It makes it a lot less overwhelming when you say, this week I'm going to do this room, or, in the next 2 days, I'm going to do this room and I'm going to do this room. And what you really want to do is you want to say to yourself, is this something that I want to take to my next space? If not, sell it, get rid of it, throw it away, whatever, donate it. Lots of places will take donations. So that's a really good thing to do. The other thing to do is to clean out and organize that garage. And why do you want to do that? Because a lot of people want to make sure that both of their cars or one of their cars can fit in it. And if it looks really nice and tidy in there, people can really envision, using it as a storage space or a place to park their car. And then the third thing is make sure that all your countertops are clear of clutter. When you guys are looking for houses, or you're on Zillow or Trulia or realtor.com, and just notice the photos that catch your eye are the ones that are very clean and organized and void of clutter, right? So those are the first thing that you want to do is to declutter and purge. Moving on to the next slide. The second thing you want to do is to take care of any kind of deferred maintenance issues that you've been, those projects that you've been wanting to do, but you maybe just have been putting them off. And that includes, painting, getting your furnace and your air conditioning cleaned, making sure all of the light bulbs are working in your house, making sure your gutters are clean, that your house is power washed. A coat of paint a fresh coat of neutral paint in your house. While it may cost a little bit of money, it will make your house seem fresh and clean and ready for the next buyer. It's really important. And you also want to make sure that you deep clean your house. Have a cleaning service come in, clean out the refrigerator and the cabinets if you can, the floors. Make sure your house smells really, really good and fresh and clean. Don't be cooking food that is has a very strong aroma while you're selling your house or showing your house. Try and stay away from that, because people react very strongly to odors, whether they're cooking odors or just, house odors. So you want to make sure that you do that too. Also, make sure when you're taking care of any maintenance issues, it's really important that you want to make sure that you save all of the receipts so that everybody knows that you have serviced your furnace and your air conditioning and everything looks good, that maybe you've had your roof looked at and your gutters looked at and they're all in good shape. And if not, make sure that you fix whatever needs to be fixed, because I can guarantee you an inspector will find exactly what you need to do. Okay, so that's a really important thing too to take care of. Moving on to number 3. I just want you guys all to think about when you're driving down the street and what makes you turn and look at a house. It's, the curb appeal of the house. It's really important to make sure that the front of your house looks put together, that your landscaping looks pretty. Maybe put some pretty pots of fresh flowers, colorful flowers. Maybe paint the exterior of your house, because that is really the first impression. And that's the first thing people are going to see when they pull up. And if your house looks adorable and well taken care of, that automatically gives somebody a really good feeling, when they're walking into your house. So that's number 3. Number 4, and this isn't always necessary, because sometimes you have a real estate broker that can help you stage your house. But if your house is vacant, it's always a good idea to contact a professional stager, and they will make it look like what today's buyer is looking for. And it makes it feel warm and lived in and clean and fresh. And actually, staged homes, they sell, I think, 90% faster at a much higher, I think 98% of the list price on a normal. That's the average when your house is staged. Now, sometimes what I'll do is I'll go in with my partner and we just make sure before the photos are taken that we make sure that all of the countertops are cleared of clutter, that the room looks really fresh and it looks open. Sometimes we move furniture around to make sure that it's giving it the best possible light, because when people see your home online, you have one chance to have a first date with them. That's what I always like to say. And if you don't make an impression, they'll move on to the next house. And so a lot of times what we'll do if we have a vacant house, if the seller doesn't have room in their budget for actually physically staging their house, we will virtually stage it. So we can get photos. We have a professional photography company that will go in and they will make the house looked staged from a photography standpoint. Nothing you can do once you get in, but what we like to do is we hang the photos of the staged pictures in the vacant room so that people can see how the room can lay out. So that's also a really important thing to do. And then the last thing is you really want to choose your professional real estate broker very carefully. It's a very intimate process. It's something that you are in it with your broker. You want to make sure that they are listening to you, that they understand what your end goal is, that they are working with you and communicating with you every step of the way, that they are marketing your home to the largest possible audience, and that they are giving you the right information on how to price your home, right? The most important thing a real estate broker can do is to really help you price your house properly. Because if it's not priced properly, it's going to sit. And you have the first 2 weeks are always the most important on the market. And you want to make sure that your house is getting out to the most amount of people in the best possible way. And that they present you with a good, strong marketing plan, and how to get the word out about your house. Are they going to use social media? Are they going to take out an ad? Are they going to have an open house? Are they going to market it to their broker network? All of those things are really important things to consider when you are choosing your real estate broker, and to make sure that you feel really comfortable with them. Because again, it's a really intimate process. I never, and from our standpoint too, we want to make sure that there's a good chemistry between us and the people that we're selling for, because we want to make sure that they understand exactly what we do, because we work really hard, and a lot of people don't understand what goes into selling a house. All of the things they think, we just put a lockbox on it and we just kind of hope it sells. Well, we show our listings 99% of the time. We do have a lockbox on our homes just in case we can't cover showing, but as a matter of thumb, we accompany all showings because we want to be there to address any kind of questions that a buyer might have. Right away, because they're there, and we want to be able to either ask our seller the question if we don't know the answer. But it's really important that your broker takes interest and wants to sell your house by being there. So with that, I open it up to any kind of questions that anybody might have. I'm always happy to give advice over the phone. If you're not in my market, and always happy to refer somebody if you're not in my market.
Thank you, Debbie. That was a ton of great information for getting your house ready for sale. One of my favorite points that you mentioned was saving the receipts for the things you just fixed. Yeah. It's something I haven't thought about or haven't really heard before, but I was like, oh, that's right. Like, you're not just going to take someone's word that you fixed it. You're not.
It's true. And any kind of warranties that you have on, let's say you just put a new roof on your house 2 years ago and it has a 15-year warranty. Call your roofer, make sure you have that warranty ready to turn over to a potential buyer. That goes a long way. Am I still on?
Oh, sorry, I froze there for a minute. It does go a long way, and that those things could be fixed if they're broken. So then it's like, okay, well, that's not going to be a problem then.
Right. That's exactly right.
And so I'm also amazed that they can virtually stage a house. Didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's really cool. And what we always like to do is we always like to show the before. So you see the vacant room, so you're not surprised when you get there, and then what the room could look like with furniture in it. So you don't want to be deceptive at all. You just want to give the buyer an idea of what it could look like. A lot of times we can repaint cabinets in a kitchen to show if you painted the cabinets. It's very cool because not a lot of people have vision as to what you can do. And so the more that you can help them see the potential of a room, the better.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people with that vision. So that was super cool the way. Yeah. I'm always amazed how people can see that. We'll put this there and this there. And I'm like, it's gonna fit.
True.
But if you do hire a stager, how much would that cost? And do they bring their own furniture to fill the room then?
They do. There are a lot of stagers out there that do, and it all depends on kind of what you're looking for to have staged. So I usually always recommend to stage at least the main level, and then maybe the master suite, the primary suite as we now call it, because those are the rooms that you live in the most. And so I feel like you don't need to spend money staging, other bedrooms other than the primary bedroom. But it's just nice to see. And, the cost varies depending on how long. Usually the stagers have a minimum of like 2 months or 3 months, and it can cost, depending on the square footage of your home, it can cost between $1,000 and $3,500, $4,000. But it's well worth it because you will get that back.
Yeah.
Sell faster. So
do you think that's as necessary right now with the market turnover so
it depends on the house. I mean, I have coming on the market, and we just, redid the floors and painted, and it's really, fresh and new looking inside. And I think for us, I think it might be the best thing to virtually stage it versus stage it. I think it's going to go really fast.
Right.
So I don't know that it's necessary to have it physically staged.
Interesting. Okay.
It all depends. I mean, and you have to assess what your seller's budget is too.
Right. That's true. So how much should someone really prepare? How much money ranges do you think you should prepare if you're thinking about selling your house?
Well, that's a big, huge variable because it depends on if you've been taking care of your home well over the years that you've lived in it. And so, you're either going to end up giving somebody a credit or fixing something. Inspectors can be really picky, and, buyers get really scared, if they have to fix big ticket items like furnaces and air conditioners and roofs. So you have to be prepared and make sure that all of those things are in working order. A lot of also some other ways to kind of get around that, if you have older mechanicals, is to offer a home warranty with the house. Home warranty, which runs about $600. And that's a great way to kind of give a buyer a peace of mind that if anything were to break, if your air conditioner is a little bit older, or if you have any possible plumbing issues, that they would be taken care of through a home warranty. Oh,
that's a smart move.
Yeah.
It can be really helpful, especially save some time if you didn't really want to do the work.
Absolutely.
And then we always, when we were selling a house one time, we had our 2 huge golden retrievers, so we got kicked out of the house, go to the park, go do whatever. Right. What do you do with the pets sometimes?
Well, they either need to be crated or they need to be removed from the home, which is the ideal thing. I mean, listen, I have a dog. I love my dog, and he's the sweetest, little thing. But there are people that are just afraid of animals, and you
100%.
You want everybody to just have a neutral experience when you're going through your house. So the best thing is to really either put them in a crate where they can't, get out. Sometimes it's so sad when you walk into a house and a pet is in a crate, but the best thing to do is really, take them for a walk while you're showing the house.
Yeah, that sounds good. Let me see what other questions we have going on here. So then how much is the cost for a broker when you're selling your house?
Well, that also depends too. I think that we charge 6%, and that is a cost that we give 2.5% of that to the cooperating broker that comes in, and then the listing broker gets 3.5%. Keeping in mind that all of the marketing costs and the photos and the brochures and the floor plans and all of the things that we do to market the house comes out of our pocket. So we have to kind of cover our expenses in some way or shape or form. And, the other thing is that we really pride ourselves on showing the properties. We don't put a lockbox on it. You can always find a discount broker.
Right.
Lockbox on and, just kind of hope it sells off the MLS. But, I kind of akin it to there are people that love to stay at the Red Roof Inn, and that's totally acceptable for them and terrific. And then there are people that really prefer to stay at the Four Seasons or the Peninsula, and that's the kind of service that they require and that they need. And so all I can say is you get what you pay for, whether comes to a real estate broker. You really do.
I was just thinking that, yeah. But it's good to know that that money is kind of taken out of the price of the sale. So you don't need money on the side or something else to pay you. So that's all encompassed in that housing price.
And any real estate broker should be able to give their sellers a net sheet based on certain price points and how much they owe the bank. You know, we can provide our, you know, within 15 minutes if they know the balance of their mortgage based on, you know, a couple of different price points to see what they would net from the sale with all the fees taken out of it. And sometimes there are transfer fees for the municipality. There are attorney fees. There's a fee for a survey. There's title fees. There are a lot of different things go into selling a house, but it is, they're all taken out of the proceeds of the sale. So you don't really need to come up with any kind of a cash outlay unless you are, you know, doing things to the house to get them ready.
Right. Those are all great questions to ask your realtor, just so you kind of know at the end of the day, you know, if I did sell for this much, what would I actually be having, you know, for my next house? Because it's not that full lump sum. I mean, everyone has to take a dip, but everyone helped, so it makes sense.
Right. That's right. Exactly.
And then the last question I have on here is, what if you have one of those children's bedrooms that is like bright orange, bright pink, you know, like one of those kid rooms, you know, every wall is a different color?
Well, you know, in a perfect world,
Which we live in.
you know, in a perfect world, I would say neutralize it. But kids are, you know, depends on the kid, right? I mean, moving is stressful as it is. And if the child is, you know, really just unsure about moving and just not really wanting to change their space, it's a kid's room.
Yeah.
You know? And so I feel like if maybe you can put some of the toys away and neutralize it that way. And sometimes I always say you put the toys away and then you bring them out and it's like Christmas all over, right? Because they haven't seen those toys in a while. So that's really kind of the main thing, is to try and just help them make it a game and try and help them keep it tidy and clean.
I really like that because, yeah, moving's hard. And, you know, if you're painting all the walls, you got to move all your stuff to the middle of the room. You're not staying in your room. Somebody else is in there for a couple of days.
Right.
So it's more than just, you know, different colored walls.
Exactly. So
I feel like this has been a wealth of knowledge.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, it's been great. Let me see if Barb has any more questions.
Well, you know, I always do.
I know.
You know, one question I have, Debbie, is pricing your home.
Yes.
So everyone always thinks probably their home's worth more.
Yes.
Would you say?
Yeah.
I mean, who feels that it's worth less, right?
Yeah.
So how do you go about, because I know that's your job too, right? Is to really price them.
For sure.
How do you go about doing that?
So, I mean, the quickest answer is to tell you that we look at comps in the neighborhood to see kind of what things have been selling for that are a similar size, bedroom and bathroom count, similar style of updating. And we kind of, it's not an exact science. So, you know, I always tell people I don't have a magic ball. And if I did, I would be in Las Vegas playing on a credit table and not selling houses. So we really, it's really an art. I mean, I feel like the more your broker knows the market, the better. You know, we go out and we tour houses all the time. We have special days during the week where it's open to brokers. Now that COVID is over, it was a lot harder last year. But we go in and we see the houses and we talk to people. A lot of times, if I'm unsure of a price of a home because it's a family member or a really close friend, I'll have people come in and help me because I'm too close to it to really be able to understand kind of the positives and maybe the more challenging things that will be able to, you know, sell this house. But there's a lot of factors that go into it, and it's the condition, it's the location, it's the size and, comparative to other homes in the area. So, it's very important that you try to price it as close to what you think it's going to sell for, also for appraisal purposes, because if your house doesn't appraise and, your sellers want to price it off the charts and you have an appraisal issue with a lender, it can be very problematic.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking too. I mean, everyone wants the best value out of their house.
That's right.
And we talked earlier how it is an emotional decision. So everyone thinks it's probably worth more because they're special and unique.
Right.
And their house is unique.
Right.
So, yeah, but at the end of the day, there's a value to it that the bank is willing to lend on. So that's the appraised value. So I'm sure you have to, Debbie, hit the mark on that as well without doing a full-blown appraisal.
It's true. It's true. And listen, and it becomes, the realtor's job to make sure that house appraises. I meet the appraiser at the house. I bring comps. I bring all of the improvements that the sellers have done to the house to increase the value as much as I possibly can. And, at the end of the day, while it's not all me, a lot of it has to do, that's a very big part of my job, is to make sure that a house appraises based on, all the different comps that I can find.
Interesting. Yeah,
this is an important factor of hiring somebody. I mean, that enough is like, you get what you pay for. You want enough for your house. So,
and you know what? I've worked on listings where it's been my buyer and the broker hasn't shown up to the appraisal. I'm like, what do you mean they didn't show up? You just walked in and just walked in. And, at that point, if the house doesn't appraise, I mean, you've done nothing to help the case. So all of those things are super, super important parts of our job.
Yeah. I mean, you could earn your money right there, Debbie. Really getting the right price for the house.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, I've been in situations where people have moved out and they don't understand what broom clean is. And I go in there with my vacuum and my broom and no joke. I mean, it's, we do it all. I mean, some of it is like not pretty and grunt worky, but, shoveling sidewalks before an open house on a snowy Sunday, all of those things are part of what goes into a real estate broker. I think that you want to work with that separates you from somebody else.
I love it. Well, and we're so lucky to have you, Debbie, as one of our Purse Strings Approved professionals. I mean, totally, you are knee deep, solid in your expertise and what you do for your clients. And we appreciate that so much. So I think if you're looking for a house, would it be anywhere in Illinois or North Shore, Chicago? What would you say is your primary area, Debbie?
I pretty much cover the North Shore and northern Chicago. I go kind of as far as, I think, Lindenhurst. I've sold properties in Lindenhurst and so, North Shore, Chicago, but I do go into the city on occasion. And listen, I love what I do. I love helping people. I love, I just, it's very gratifying to me.
Yeah.
So many levels.
It comes through. That's for sure.
Thank you. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, we just want to say thank you again, Debbie. Debbie is from the Glickman Peterman Group. You can always reach her at Debbie Glickman at properties.com. And if you're anywhere else in the country, you can always call Debbie just for a question or for a referral for your local area. Just to be transparent, if you use a referral that Debbie gives you, Debbie earns profit from that. So it's advantageous to ask a realtor that you support because that supports them as well. But we appreciate you coming on here, Debbie. We'll have our step-by-step handout tomorrow, and we'll be back here again next week with another fun session.
Terrific. You guys are doing a great job. Thank you for providing all these great services to women.
Of course.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Debbie.
All right, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Have a good week.